Well, Bob, that's right. The National Park Service says that there's less protest permits being requested than they've seen in the past, but there are still supposed to be a number of anti-Trump demonstrations in Washington, D.C. It should be noted that national security agencies say that they're not tracking any credible threats at this point in time, but the first anti-Trump event we're going to see is going to take place around the Washington Monument. That'll be on Saturday. It's something called the People's March. Organizers of that event expect at least 50,000 people to show up for it. Now, one of the organizers of that march is the Women's March, which of course held an anti-Trump event at the first inauguration of Donald Trump as president back in 2017. Now, on Sunday, we're going to see a pro-Trump event downtown. That will be the president-elect's final rally before going back to the White House. And then on Monday, before the inauguration, there's going to be a march led by another anti-Trump group, and this is going to be one led by Al Sharpton. It's his National Action Network, and they're going to be holding a march that they expect 1,500 people to show up and participate in. Now, D.C.'s police chief Pamela Smith says all hands are on deck to protect the capital city, not just for these events that are taking place throughout the weekend, but of course, the inauguration.
Our entire police department will be activated for the presidential inauguration. In addition, we'll be reinforced with nearly 4,000 officers from across the United States who were generous enough to raise their hands and commit their time to assist the Metropolitan Police Department. Those additional resources will be deployed to manage traffic, secure dignitary routes, and ensure public safety in our city.
And in total, there will be about 25,000 law enforcement officials here in Washington for the inauguration. Bob and Katrina, they've also put up 30 miles of temporary fencing around D.C., including around the Capitol, the White House, and other government buildings. Back to you.
Logan Raddick at the nation's capital. Thank you.
All right. Well, as Washington, D.C. gears up for those protests that Logan referenced, are also ramping up security around the inauguration, as he pointed out, especially since we know that the incoming president, Donald Trump, has survived 2 assassination attempts. And joining us now to walk through what all of this looks like, former Secret Service agent and Newsmax contributor Charles Marino. Charles, always great to have you on with us. All right, set our minds at ease, because Bob and I were speaking about it. We are both thrilled. We will be covering the inauguration in Washington, D.C. on Monday, but you can't help but worry about the security, not just for us, but also for the incoming president.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it receives a designation as a national special security event. This is the highest level special event designation in the country, and it puts the Secret Service in charge of the planning and coordination, which has been underway for about 12 months. It's a whole of government approach to security, and I predict we're going to see the largest security footprint in inauguration history. And that's based on a number of reasons, both the global and domestic threat level, which is elevated, the specific threat risk against President Trump, and the recent security failures by the Secret Service in both Butler, Pennsylvania, and down in Florida. So I think you're going to see a lot of technology, a lot of manpower, 25,000 law enforcement officers, another 7,500 National Guard. You've got the multi-agency coordination center that'll be stood up, where everybody participating in the overall security plan will be all together at an undisclosed location sharing information. And while there's no credible threats at this time, according to the FBI, I don't think anybody's going to leave that to chance, especially after what occurred in New Orleans, where you had a terrorist suspect carry out an attack who was not on the radar of the FBI or others prior to.
Yeah, I guess there's always that threat of a lone wolf. 20 seconds, Charles. How confident do you feel where it's going to proceed? Everything's going to be fine.
I feel very confident. This is not something that's left to chance. Mitigate risk and extend the perimeters to mitigate all those threats.
Well, let's hope. Let's hope.
Yeah, if Charles Marino says so, I believe him.
Hope isn't a strategy. I think you're going to be in good shape.
They'll be prepared. All right.
Chuck, good to see you. Appreciate it.
All right, good to see you.